Hello, a few more banknotes today. Firstly, I'm showing you these early Treasury notes from John Bradbury. They released them to replace the sovereign. These are quite simple notes, just one-sided, £1 and 10 shillings. Then they modified the design slightly. If we can get some focus on that. There we go. Oh, the top one's a bit pressed, but not terrible examples to have in your collection. And this is quite a rare note, a Dardanelles note. These were printed for the Dardanelles campaign in the First World War, overprinted with Arabic. And I need the £1 Dardanelles note, which is exceptionally expensive. Not sure I'll ever get that one. Then moving on to the more refined design. That's a T16 Treasury note at the top, and there's about 30 different categories of Treasury note in the English Paper Money Guide. Lots of little variations, mainly with the serial number. If you see, the bottom serial number is red. That makes it a different type, and when it says number, the dot can be different shapes, round, a dash or square. This is the next signatory, which was Fisher, and first it starts with a letter with a number underneath it, then it has a letter and a number with a number underneath it, and then you can see that number has a kind of square dash at the bottom, and the one in the middle a different shape. Also, when they started producing these, it was Britain and Ireland, and now it becomes Britain and Northern Ireland, as after the First World War the Republic of Ireland was given independence. And again, changing the shape underneath the number. One's round, one's square. A nice picture of the Houses of Parliament on the back. And there's a note that I want, which has a little anchor underneath the clock tower around about here. And I thought I'd won that in auction, and it turned out there was a mistake and somebody else had won it. So I'm quite disappointed, because that's quite a rare note. They were produced to keep track of where the money was going when issued to the Navy. And you've got some red serial numbers here and a few different formats. We have round dot, a dash, and then finally there's no NO on this, just the number appears without any prefix of number. And then these notes were in the Second World War. There was a deal done with the Guernsey occupiers. The Germans occupied Guernsey, and these notes were lodged with the Germans, and they overprinted them. They were taken from they were notes which were going to be destroyed, so they appear with some different signatures on. Catton's Pepiat. What I want is the blue and pink Pepiat note overprinted to complete a nice little set of 3. These are quite rare, quite expensive notes. They were kept in a safe, held as collateral against small denomination notes that the Germans printed. And then just the basic notes, Mahon, Catton's, 2 different Cattons here, B225, B226. They've got different format. We have letter, number to start, and then we have number followed by letter. I did at first just want to collect each denomination with each signature. Then that's expanded to be basically every catalogue number, excluding replacement notes. I haven't really got any replacement notes. Don't know if I'm going to get into them or not. They seem to be quite a lot of money for what they are. I might be better off spending my money on something a bit more interesting, like early American notes. Multiple Pepiat notes here. The change is to do with the paper that it's printed on, whether it's got a metallic strip inside the paper or not. One of them does, one of them doesn't. That one's got the strip, that one doesn't. Which you can see clearly when you hold it up to the light, but it's probably not so clear on video. And then I didn't realise there were quite so many of these portrait notes to collect. They were printed in various different ways, and some of them have little letters which for lithograph, or these have got C's on them, I think. Yeah, there we go, a little tiny C. I'll try and get it shot. It doesn't have it on that one. This is to do with the printing techniques which were used. So I've got quite a few of those now. Most of these are fairly inexpensive. There's a couple of rarer ones, but unless you want first or last serial numbers or replacements, or there's a few that they did which were experimental, which are quite expensive, but just the basic ones are okay. Some of my notes are in very good condition, and actually very good condition is a category, and it actually means in not great condition. What I mean to say is some of my notes are uncirculated and extra fine condition. I do have some which were added to my collection much earlier when I first started, which aren't in such good shape, which maybe will get replaced at a later date. Onto the 10 shilling notes here. Again, various different papers being used for Pepiat, and an ink change during the Second World War, much like the blue and pink £1 note. That was an ink change for the duration of the war. And then the bottom note there is a propaganda note produced by Germany, which is supposed to look like the 10 shillings above it, but on the back has some propaganda writing telling about how English currency won't be worth anything. General naysaying. And again, that one's got a metallic strip. The one above, not sure which one has it. One of them has it, one of them doesn't. And then on to the portrait notes after Beale. L.K. O'Brien introduces the portrait notes. And again, multiple ones printed in various different ways. Thanks for watching.